I am optimistic, positive, and excited about chiropractic, reaching people with my practice and building an exceptional life of productivity, prosperity, and generosity while being filled with love, fitness, and fun. My purpose is to become a smarter, more powerful, capable, driven, and superior version of myself by ever increasing my awareness, my knowledge, my understanding, my motivation, my hands-on skill, my voice skill, my speaking skill, and mastering the art of exceptional living. Of course, whenever you train with me, Tory the Chiropractor, Tory the Chiropractic Practice Success Consultant, well, clearly you're going to get more great new patients, and they're going to be good ones, high value. I'm here to make you more capable of motivating and persuading people. You want to be empowered to make smarter long-term decisions, and of course you want to be energized physically, mentally, and financially. Life has advanced so far and become so complex that even the most ordinary man or woman must have a significant amount of money to live a life that even remotely approaches completeness. I memorized that from the Science of Getting Rich because it's so important. So here we are today. How a solo DC can collect $100,000 or more per month. How one chiropractor practicing in one office can collect $100,000 or more per month. This is common in my group because we have this down to a science. We're the only group, the first group ever really to have this down to a mathematical, predictable, deliverable, repeatable science. And it is a science. Practice success is a science. It's all physics. And we understand the laws that run the successful chiropractic practice, and that's what we teach, and that's why we have so many average people, just like myself, very average, doing unbelievable things because they have superior information and are able to apply. Let's take a look at this now. How can a solo DC collect $100,000 or more in a month, like every month? How do you do that? Some of you listening are in the Winner's Edge Club and you are doing this, or you have done this. Maybe you've done it a few times. You want to break $100,000 every month. Of course you should. Some of you have approached $70,000, $80,000 a month, but really haven't got to 100. Many of you are nowhere near 100, especially if you're outside the Winner's Edge group. In fact, if you're outside the Winner's Edge group, you have almost no chance of getting there because there's too much you have to learn. You just want to try to sell us on joining your group. Yeah, I do, because, it's the bigger future for you. Get connected to superior information that you can use so you can create a superior practice and a superior life. It's your choice. We'd like to have you here. But I train the people who are sitting in front of me, the ones who chose to have the exceptional chiropractic life. The ones who choose not to, what am I supposed to say? But I'm glad you're here with me right now. Let's do some training. Of course, this could take a few hundred hours, and basically all of our coaching, all 800 plus of our videos, the books, all the audio materials, the events, the boot camps, the CA training, all the stuff that I do in our success delivery system is engineered to get the solo DC over $100,000 a month. Yeah, but Tory, we practice as a couple. Okay, great. I've got like 20 or 21 DC couples in the group. Getting a multi-doctor office over $100,000 a month, that's 100 times harder than a solo DC. In fact, even in the Winner's Edge group, never has any what we might call multi-doctor, two-doctor office really come close to doing what a single doctor office can do. I'm not talking about doubling it. Two DCs should do twice as much as one DC. We're talking two DCs even matching what one DC can do. The physics behind the multi-doctor office, the physics are so devastating that there's really no chance of doing anything that impressive, all right? But Tory, you're saying that, no, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is this, listen. I will coach any practice scenario. If you want to have 3 buddies practice together, call me. If you're a married couple and want to practice together and you've made that decision, fine, call me. You want to practice alone with no CAs? Call me. I have that down to a science. But each one of those scenarios has its limitations, has its opportunities. And if I connect my leg to somebody else, I'm not going to run as fast as if I run alone. Now listen carefully. This podcast right now is how a solo DC can really kill and perform in practice. Listen to this. Eagles always fly alone. Sharks swim alone. But we like practicing together. Great. Once the chiropractor or chiropractors tell me what they want for their practice scenario to be, practicing together or I'm a solo, fine. I'm going to take and show you how to be as successful as possible with that. It just happens to be that the most successful option is practicing alone. If you really want to see what you're capable of and do something incredibly impressive, that is how it's done. That's how it's always been done. And the physics and the math behind it will always ring true. All right, so here we go. By the way, it's the most fun for me to coach. When I have the multi-doctor setup, it's like, okay, here we go. It's so complicated, it's so difficult because you have 2 human beings you're trying to get. It's like dancing, trying to get 2 people to be synchronized so perfectly. And then, of course, the team and the team requirements, the layout requirements, the equipment requirements, the timing, all of these things that come into play. But we can do it. We can get the multi-DC office over 100,000 too. And maybe that's a topic for a different podcast, all right? But again, you don't get it all. You don't get to say, hey, we get to be around each other because we like to be around each other and we get to collect more and be more productive. See, you don't get them both. You don't get it. You don't get it. You don't get it all. You want it all, but you don't get it all. There's always something to sacrifice. If I practice alone, I don't get to be around the person that I love. Yeah, you don't, but you're going to be more productive. So you got to always choose. You got to choose what you want. You got to choose what you don't want. That's the art of practice. You got to make these decisions. I'm here to show you how to be as successful as possible with all of those solo DC, 100,000 a month. Here we go. Listen carefully. Point number 1. Coaching is the key. This has to be trained. Nobody just goes and trains in their garage and then wins a gold medal. If you want to be a solo DC and break 100,000 a month, and let me share this with you very quickly so you know. The difference between collecting 80,000 a month and 100,000 a month is a chasm that is unable to be crossed normally. See, in other words, the more successful you become, the harder it is to continue to go. It's like a car. Once a car starts to go really fast, it might go 180 miles an hour, but to get that thing to go 185, I mean, you might have to, it's going to take a completely different car. So in other words, what works at 80,000 a month will never work at 100,000 a month. But the $80,000 a month chiropractor will think that it will. Just think of that. The psychological issues in the chiropractic world are just, I could write several books on this. Listen carefully. If I have a car and I smash the gas pedal down on a road that's 10 miles long and perfectly straight and flat, and that car goes 125 miles an hour, that's as fast as that car will go. And I go back to the cafe and say, yep, next time I go out, the car's going to go 140. Do you see how you're a crazy person? The car can go 125. You've smashed on the gas, held it there for miles. It won't break that speed. So if I run around and say, hey, it's going to go faster all of a sudden, I'm a crazy person. Or let's say I'm standing there and I have a cup of coffee and I have the pot of coffee and I start pouring the pot of coffee into the cup and I go, someday this whole pot's going to fit in the cup. I'm going to be able to fit a pitcher of water in a styrofoam cup. Do you see how that's a crazy person? It only holds this much. You want to put that much in there. It doesn't fit. You've got the capability to generate $80,000 a month, period. That's it. That's forever away from $100,000 a month because everything has to change to break 100. See, the faster you go, the more precise everything has to become. The faster you go, the better the materials have to be. The same is true with the practice. So it takes coaching. Point number one, if you're a chiropractor and you want to break $100,000 a month, you need very high-level coaching, and I'm the only person I know that can do it. There's some other good coaching people out there, I think. I just don't think they have the science. Like I'm going to tell you, I can tell you exactly what to do, exactly what to get, exactly what to say, exactly who to hire, exactly what their hours need to be, exactly what marketing you need to do, exactly what your treatment time needs to be forever. I know every single tiny detail that comprises the $100,000 a month office. That's why we are the Practice Success Powerhouse. So you got to have coaching. Now let's move on to the stuff that you're more interested in. Really, this is the first thing, but I have it marked as point number 2. We're going to start from the outside in, because you might be sitting there, rolling along, might even be watching this. I do these as though people are listening. I don't do it for the video. I have the video camera on in this case, but I really do it for the audio. You could be sitting there rolling along saying, hey, how can I, as a single DC office, collect $100,000 a month? How can I do that? Well, there's requirements. And here they are. Okay? We'll call this requirement number 2. Requirement number 1 is you got to have a coaching team. Me, you, and then it's going to take your accountant. That's the core of your coaching team. Your coaching team is not your boyfriend or your wife or your dad or your cousin or your uncle, the chiropractor, or certainly any of your chiropractic friends. I always think it's funny, these cliques that form in chiropractic, where these chiropractors kind of at the same level kind of click together and they somehow think they're going to help each other. See how hilarious that is? It takes somebody way above you to help you, not your friends. It's good to have your friends, but your friends are not your core of your success group. You got to get outside that. Objective, independent people. You, me, and your accountant. That is the core of the success team, period. And possibly this, quote, social media guy. That's the emerging fourth component of the chiropractic success team. All right, so here we are. Point number 1, coaching number 2. Here it is. Listen. It's office layout. Wrong layout, no chance. In fact, I might even say this. If I didn't draw your layout, you don't have any chance of breaking $100,000 a month. And if you are over $100,000 a month, usually it's a fluke. In other words, you're in an area where the PI cases pay $7,500. You've got a unique connection into it, and you can have a garbage office and break $100,000 a month. That's great. There are going to be some of these anomalies out there. Okay? But to really do it month in and month out and have it be a rounded practice is going to be a different game. So layout is the name of the game. And layout is the setup for all the footwork and all the equipment required and how many people we can move. Look at an office right now. How many people can fit in your office? How many people can be in a, quote, treatment area comfortably? And how many chairs can people sit in comfortably? And I'm not talking about these offices with these chairs where they're touching. Nobody wants to sit next to each other, so that doesn't count. I see offices with 16 chairs. That's room for 8 people or 10. because people hate being elbow to elbow with people. The only place in the world they tolerate that is on an airplane. So we'll have an office that really can only hold like 8 people. Chiropractic room, some chairs here, some chairs there, 8 people. Sometimes it's 6 people. I want to have an office that can have 13 people in, quote, treatment action along with another 20. I want to be able to have 33 people sitting there all happy. The secrets to the layout, okay, when I draw a floor plan, of which I drew several this week, absolute chiropractic office masterpieces that are going to take those doctors over $100,000 a month. I know the plan that'll do it when I see it. When I draw it, when I create it. Some of the keys, of course, are the 3-room corridor. And remember, here at Winter's Edge, we have the level 1 office, which is almost very unlikely you'll ever break $100,000 a month. The level 2 office, maybe you can if you've got some PI and you can collect more on your cases. I've certainly done it with a level 2 office. The level 3 office can get you over 100 a month. The level 4 office for sure. And the level 5 office can get you there for sure, but that's going to take some excellent management. Tory, what are those different levels? Well, that's a topic for another time, and if you were in my group, you would know exactly what those are, and you could choose the level that you want. But some of the tips on the layout are CA should be able to see all of the doors in the office. Of course, the step management, how many steps does it take for a CA to go everywhere? How many steps does it take for the doctor to go everywhere? See, if you take 12 steps and I take 4 steps, you're taking 8 steps longer than me, say per new patient or per person. So you're taking 2 times as many steps, okay? And that's going to take you, say, 4 more seconds. Well, 4 more seconds times 18,000 office visits in the year, well, that's $50,000 to $100,000 lost because you're walking more because your layout is goofed up. Do you understand that every tiny thing takes time? And if something takes 4 more seconds here, or walking up front takes 8 more seconds, this is $50,000 a year. Year after year. Over 20 years in the career. Think about that. That's $1 million in lost collections just because your layout was goofy. And that's just the beginning. Most office layouts in the chiropractic office destroy the volume and the collections, and the chiropractor collects millions of dollars less because their layout was poor. Layout controls everything. Layout is what controls the flow of people. The flow of people controls your collections. The collection controls what you get paid, and what you get paid controls your life. So your life is being controlled by the layout of your office. Of course, you have to have the front desk design like we teach, the 43, the 36, the sign-up area, the drawer stacks we recommend, computer placements, the grommets, the outlets, where the fridge goes with the ice packs. All of that stuff is down to a science for maximum efficiency and people flow. Of course, the DC command center concept, the CA command center concept, the way the lighting is, of course, the colors in the office. And of course, all chiropractic offices should be carpeted. There's no chiropractic office should have a concrete floor or a wood floor or a laminate floor. I know the design people like it, but it's horrible. Slippery. It's dirty, it's cold. I'll have people in a northern part of the country, Indiana, Michigan, and I'll walk in and they'll have this gray laminate floor and these white walls. You'll feel like you're inside an ice cube, especially in the wintertime. It's horrible. Because design people don't know what they're doing when it comes to this. The place has to feel warm. It has to be easy to keep clean. Okay, it has to be easy to swap out stained areas, which is why we use the carpet tiles. All chiropractor offices should be carpeted. There's a major difference here. Just walk into any one of them and you will see what I mean. This is even on a subconscious level. Warm, inviting, softer underfoot. You're standing all day. You're walking around all day. Why ever would you want to walk on concrete or some laminate or tile flooring? Ever. But some of you will still go and get that flooring, and you'll see that I was right. The chair slide, water pools, okay? It's just, no, never. And many other design things. In fact, I could do a whole weekend training on just how to design chiropractic. Remember, I went to college to be an architect. I have an advantage here that nobody else has, plus all the offices I've designed. I can take the most garbage space and turn it into a masterpiece. Not easy to do. In fact, it gets harder to do all the time. Every time I turn around, people send me a space, and I look at it, and I'll just say, oh, this doesn't get any easier. All right, but we have to have the correct layout that I drew for you in the correct space, square footage, door swings, lighting, ceiling heights, vent locations, lock sets, type of lighting, dimmers to be used as patient education tools, all the different tricks that we have in the Winner's Edge office layout. Okay, next point is this, number 3. We have to have all the equipment in place that will allow you to serve and have services at a level that will collect $100,000 a month. There are really only 3 things that can be added to a chiropractic office beyond chiropractic that really are worthwhile. This could offend people, but it really is the truth. There are really only, there's 2 main pieces of equipment that can be added to a chiropractic office that will allow for flow, volume, and high-level service. There is a 3rd piece of equipment in the really well-managed office that could be an addition. Tory, what are those? Well, that's a topic for another day. All right, but simply know, if you just want to go and be a chiropractor and make adjustments, you're going to get to a certain place and that's it. Okay, you're going to be a $30,000 to maybe $50,000 a month DC. Maybe you can go beyond that if you have extreme discipline and marketing ability. All right, maybe some PI cases, some insurance there. But if you want to get 80 to 100 plus a month, you're going to have to be adjusting people while other people are doing something else on equipment that you're getting paid decent for. That's a viable service. All right, and so we have to get to the level 3, level 4, level 5 Winner's Edge office. So it's the layout followed by the correct equipment. Okay? Of course, we set this up for everybody that's in the Winner's Edge Club. Next thing is this. Remember now, in a chiropractic scenario, your success is hanging on the chiropractor ability, the team ability, and the layout of the office. Those are the 3 controlling factors. So if something's not going very far, it's because there's something goofed up with the chiropractor, the team can't do it, or the office layout and the equipment can't do it. If I just have one small room with one adjusting table, do you see how I'm not going to be able to go as far as if I had 2 rooms with a trap door and I could go back and forth and I could have a new patient in one room and be adjusting in the other room, which won't go as far as if I have an x-ray room on the other side, so I can have a new patient there, I can be adjusting somebody and have a report or a family in the other room. So the 3-room corridor is the big secret to maximum DC production. So if the chiropractor has the 3-room corridor, well then the layout can handle whatever volume the chiropractor can, because you can't outspeed the layout. Then you have the chiropractor and, of course, the team. Many times the CAs grow to a certain level and they just can't handle any more people in their brain. It's called particle bombardment. Remember now, if you see 100 people a day, they have to see 200. They have to see the person going back to see you and then coming back up front. So they're doing twice what you're doing generally. And many times people just grow to a certain level of how much they can fit in their brain. And it'll seem like they're awesome, and my CA knows everybody, and she's great. But for all you know, she's reached the level of about how busy she can be psychologically, and now that's controlling your office. See, I want you to realize there's things controlling your office. Let me give you an example. Tory, my CA, wants to leave early on Wednesday because she needs to pick her son up at 4 o'clock. If you let that happen, that means you're letting that lady's kid run your practice. Aren't you? That kid is now running your practice. You bent for the kid or for the mom by trying to be nice. So you slice your own throat to try to be nice, when it very simply should be this. Well, the requirements for this position are that you have to be here all the hours that the clinic is open, just like I have to be here. Okay? If I see the people, you have to be around to process and handle them. So if you're unable to have those hours, I really appreciate the time you spent here. Today is your last day. Thank you for everything that you did. It's really that simple. Yeah, but nothing. If you want to get to the 100,000 a month level, there is zero compromise, zero tolerance. You want to win a gold medal, there's zero tolerance for mediocrity in anything for even a second, because that's what will kill you at competition time. So we've got excellent coaching. We've got a layout that's beautiful. The office is fully equipped. Now we have to have the team. So we got the office is done. There. Now we're going to have to, team the office, right? So here we are. 2 full-time CAs can get you to 100,000 a month in certain states. Tory, which states? Don't have time to sit here and tell you. Okay? All right? All the real secrets here at Winner's Edge, you got to be in the club to get. There are certain states in the United States that are so easy to be successful, and there are certain states where you have almost no chance. You can drive 10 miles across a border and collect twice as much. You could collect $350 in one state, drive across the border, and 2 months later in a different state be collecting now on pace for $700,000 a year. Just because the laws are different. There are certain states, when someone says, I'm going to go here, I'd be like, okay. And then there are certain states where I go, oh, this is going to be easy. Every state in the United States is different for the chiropractor. Some are much easier. There's some states where you could just show up and really be super average, and you put out a crummy Facebook ad and get 40 new ones a month just from the ad. And then you could take that same chiropractor and same everything and put them 6 blocks from me, and they would get 2 people. And then take that same chiropractor with the same promotion and marketing and put him someplace else, and they would get 10. It's very interesting. But I get to see that. See, you don't see that. You only know what's happening with you. I see what's happening all over the place. Tory, tell me really where the best states are. Well, once you're in the group and we go over this, I will lay it all out for you exactly. So we've got to have the team. We have to have the correct team in the correct zones, with the correct hours, with the correct pay, the correct bonus, the correct training, the correct team huddle, the correct team meeting. The entire team system we have here at Winner's Edge. Because remember now, the doctor has a certain capacity, the CAs have a certain capacity, the office itself has a certain capacity. And whichever one is the one that's restricted is the one that controls how far you get. Many times it's a lack of CAs. Next thing we have to have, we got the coaching in place for the training to teach you how to do it. Then, of course, we got the layout perfect. Then the office is equipped perfect. Then, of course, we've got the team in place with high-level training and all the team systems, the huddle system, the team meeting system, all the scripting, how we do care plans, how we do wellness plans, how we verify insurance, how the billing gets done, when it gets done, the system with the EOBs, with the doctor, all of the Winner's Edge stuff. There. Next, goals. Using the Winner's Edge goal system. 2 years out, broken down to the month, broken down to the week. Goals are never in a computer. The goal sheets are made and they sit on a desk, and the actual statistics are handwritten in every day. They're never put in a computer. And I don't have time to explain why, even though it should be obvious. Okay? We don't hide stuff in a computer. The computer is just sucking the success out of people all the time. Our goal sheet for the month sits front and center at the front desk. It is the thing that everything revolves around every day. The team huddle is centered around the goal and stat sheet. The post huddle is centered around the goal and stat sheet. Everything that's done is centered around the goal and stat sheet because that tells you where you are going and what your goal is. Okay? When that plane comes in for a landing, the pilots are staring at the runway. They're not looking around, and a picture of the runway isn't in an onboard computer. Okay? So when we have a practice, our eyes are on where we are going, where we are intending. The stats are handwritten in every day, handwritten totaled at the month, given to the doctor. The doctor handwrites them on the yearly tally sheet per our system. Our goal in stats system will just take any. If all I do is install that into your life, you'll be more successful immediately. The absolute minimum amount of numbers, only the essential goals, and we keep the stats for those. All right? I can't even stress that enough. It is. See, remember now, what you think you need isn't what'll work. Had a chiropractor just joined. Tory, I think I need this. I go, listen, you don't know what you need. You think you do, but you don't. Just like you can't smell your own bad breath even though your nose is 2 inches from your mouth. I know what you need because I'm on the outside. I can see everything you can't see. In football, which team wins? The team that wins is the team that blocks and tackles the best. All of the stuff that nobody cares about. Blocking. When you're watching a football game, are you staring at the blockers and seeing how the blocking is going? No. You're going to follow the ball and, Blocking is what allows teams to score. Tackling is what keeps people on the opposite team from scoring. The team that blocks the best and tackles the best is the team that wins. How many kids want to go out and practice blocking? How many chiropractors want to sit down and use this manual goal and stat system, even though it is the thing that causes chiropractors to win in practice? It's so simple and so awesome. It's one of our greatest inventions here of many. Only we have it. All right, next point. Number 6. Once we have the goals, now we have to have all of the procedural elements and all of the scripting for doctor and team. How to do everything. Consult script, explaining chiropractic script, x-ray script into the Winner's Edge Insta report, followed by our very first sort of introduction into chiropractic in our office, how we wrap up that day, what video gets sent to them, what they walk out with for handouts. That we have the best x-ray handouts, the best spine chart. We have the best handouts that are essential for the patient to have comprehension and to get printed material into the person's house. Then, of course, we have the report diagram, which is almost becoming legendary, the care plan with the Winner's Edge care plan sheet, and then, of course, we're going to have our office visit, the re-exam, and the re-sign. So there's our components. And all of those, when trained well, are just like football plays, ran well in a football game. And forms tie in with this also. There really are only about 6 forms the chiropractor needs. There's the intake, possibly the intake in addition. You might add the Medicare sheet or the ABN. You might add the personal injury sheet. You might add a pediatric sheet, then a work injury sheet. And then, of course, you have the exam sheet. You have the care plan sheet, re-exam sheet, wellness plan or re-sign sheet. There's only like 6 pieces of paper required to run a $100,000 a month chiropractic office, plus your soap notes. Meeting the state board requirements perfectly, keeping it simple. Next thing, after all of that is done, by the way, you'll be as successful as what you've memorized. The more you memorize that's right and use it, the more successful you'll be. If you do it your way, you really won't get very far. It's a very hard thing to see chiropractors that want to do things their way and they stay stuck at $50,000 a month forever. And if they did it my way, they would go to $80,000 a month. And if they really did it my way, they would go to $100,000 a month. But they know better than me. Next. Treatment time. This is the killer. This is the killer for the chiropractor. Probably you listening. In fact, I guarantee you listening, okay, except for very few of you that are over 400 visits a week. You don't have to see 400 visits a week to collect 100,000 a month. You do have to break 250 normally. You could hover around 200 plus and get to $100,000 a month with certain scenarios. I could coach that in certain states. Normally you'll have to have a little bit more volume. It is a weird thing that usually the higher your volume gets, the less you collect. The 500 a visit chiropractor collects less than the 300 visit a week chiropractor, almost always. In fact, I don't know of any 500 a week chiropractor that collects more than our 300 a week chiropractors. There's just something that happens because you're giving so much away. So because to get to 500 a week, you're seeing 150 or 200 kids a week for nothing. So there's an efficiency loss. Now, I want you to help all the people that you can, but 300 adults that pay will collect a lot more than 500 that has a bunch of kids. Nearly every time. But again, you want to have the style of practice, Tory, I want to work on lots of kids. Great. That's fantastic. Every spine needs to be adjusted. There's nothing special about a kid or an old lady or a 40-year-old mom with a headache. All spines need to be adjusted, period. All dogs need loving homes, period. Okay? If it's a high-end Doberman from a high-end breeder, or if it's a battered dog at a rescue, all dogs need a loving home. The need is the same for all of them. Of course, some of them may have come from farther behind, but they all need a good home, and all chiropractors have to be aware of treatment time. This is math. This is the math and the physics behind a chiropractic office. This is the killer. The chiropractors want to move fast, so they think they're fast. But actually, they move fast and they do too much, which takes too much time. And then they're stuck at 180 visits a week. And then they argue with me that that's what they need to do to educate their patients. No, you just like hearing yourself talk. They don't care. They want to get going. So there's a system, and we have a procedure for this. You have to do less and move slower. If you want to see more people, you have to move slower. It's counterintuitive, isn't it? But almost all of the stuff I'm teaching would be counterintuitive. It isn't what you would naturally think. It'll be many times the opposite. Tory, I want to see more people. Okay, you need to move slower. Move slower? Yeah, move slower, do less. In less time, and see more people more gracefully, with more power, then more collections, because you have a better collection per visit. So if you had 15 people sitting there, how long would it take you to adjust them all? Some of you, this might short-circuit your brain. You'd sit there and go, that'll take like an hour and a half. Some people, it'll take 15 minutes. Yeah, but I want to give quality care. People who know what they're doing can do it fast. So there's a lot to be said about the procedures that allow you to have the treatment time, to allow you to have the volume and the capability, okay, to have a collection per visit, which gets you there. Let's take a quick second on collection per visit. Maybe we'll do a little math here, then I got a couple other points. We'll wrap this one up. I just want to hit the high points of here of really what the core components are to have mastered, to break 100,000 a month and stay there, not just hit 100 a month and then retreat back to wherever you were. But just think about this now. Let me grab a calculator. We got 100,000 a month. This is not hard to figure out, and all of you should already be doing this kind of thing, right? So we're always just going to look at how many visits. So let's just say at 800 visits a month, 200 visits a week. Well, you're going to have to collect $125 a visit. Some of you, that would blow your mind. That's impossible. I don't know how you would do that. Well, I've done it for years. Okay? Remember now, because I've been able to break 200,000 a month. Best is 223. Okay? I'm not sure if that could be duplicated again. Things were a little bit fresh, a little bit new. You could have a fee structure that was a bit different than now. The 220 of then would probably be more like 150 today. Okay. All right, so then let's take a look at this. 100,000 a month divided by 1,000 visits a week. Excuse me, 1,000 visits a month, 250 a week. Well, there you are, $100 a visit. How do you get to $100 a visit? I'm only collecting like $41 a visit right now. Well, you have to have the level 4 office. That's how. And then the 100 is almost automatic. It's not hard. So you see here as you fiddle with the calculator and your notebook, right? And of course, here it is. Here's the Winner's Edge Notebook of Awesomeness right there. Okay, see the cool stamp in it? Everybody gets this. Has a cool pen holder. They're the best notebooks ever. Okay, in here, aren't you? You're always fiddling. If I see this many at this much, I get that. Well, if I see that many at that much, I get that. See, success, once again, all boils down to the math. So you have to be sitting there going, how do I get to a $100 collection per visit? So I can have a reasonable volume and collect $100,000 a month. And then we do the work to do it using these principles. Next point I have here, I got point number 8. Okay, you ready? You have to have a promotion and a marketing machine that's really, really effective. 40 plus new ones a month, 40 to 100 new ones a month. With tremendous validity, this means your business card, your letterhead, your envelope, your website offer, your pictures, your Instagram, your Facebook, anything you're doing for referrals, your local area domination, knowing a ton of attorneys, your parlay, your referral action. Okay, you are actually a new person magnet. People naturally want you to touch them. They naturally want you to work on them. It's easy for you to get new ones. Okay? You have a marketing machine in place. You have something marketing as it relates to PIs possibly. You've got stuff going on around you, and again with clubs, groups you're a part of, fitness places you're a part of, law offices, other medical doctors, physical therapy offices, dental offices. You have a bunch of connections, gymnastics places, dance studios, martial arts places. You just got all of these places where people are coming to you and know you as the chiropractor. The local area domination. We sort of have a system for this that you want to have. I didn't realize really how good I was at this. But one time, we had the principal of the high school as a patient, the vice principal as a patient, the head football coach, the assistant head football coaches, the head basketball coach, assistant head basketball coach, quarterback of the football team, star female softball player, the kid on the team who won the high school state championship in golf and got a full ride to Stanford. All of these, everybody was a patient. I look back now and I didn't realize at the time how amazing it was. You could walk in the high school and you'd see 10 of my t-shirts bobbing up and down in the hallway. Because I talked in the biology class, the math class, the DECA club, the HOSA club. Okay? Everybody knew me as Tory the chiropractor. So, of course, the promotion machine in the area. Tory, how do I do that? Well, you just become an animal and go do everything that we have in our promotion set, the new patient generator, what you do with the website, all the website secrets, all of that stuff. In fact, what I might do is I might take and just break down each one of these and do a little podcast on each one and get it a little bit more developed. And I think a lot of you would really like that. Okay? But again, if you're in the Winner's Edge group, you have access to all of this stuff. And so the cheapest thing to do is just buy the information. It's worth paying $1,000 to learn how to get 5,000 to 70,000 more per month for the rest of your career. Okay, the next point is this, number 9. Okay? Most people wouldn't talk about this, but here it is. You see, I'm being pretty direct today because this is serious business. You want to collect $100,000 a month, we are getting serious. It's not time to joke. All right, we're talking about winning the gold medal here in chiropractic, okay, getting over the top, as we say, all right, and not one chiropractor in 20 can break $100,000 a month even one time as a fluke, let alone do it all the time, let alone get way past that and stay past it, okay? So we're having fun, but at the same time, it's serious work. Next one is image. The doctor's image, your hygiene, how you dress, your car, the image of your office, the image of your logo, the image of your website, the image of your social media. Do people think you're cool? Do you look like you're good at something? Now here, once again, everybody thinks they look better than they do. Even in my group, with our boot camps where we teach this, people have been to many boot camps, and still, even at one of our high-level trainings, which is the only place in chiropractic where you'll get taught how to dress, what colors to wear, certainly how to wear a suit for male and for female, exactly what the chiropractic uniforms are, exactly how to wear them. Everything from watches to rings to necklaces to the cuff to the collar to how to tie the tie, to belts to the shoes to the soles on the shoes. Nothing whatsoever is left to chance from the tip of your head to the bottom surface of your feet. About 2 in 10 can really get this right. You put everybody up on a stage and say, who here looks really sharp? It's only going to be a few people. And there is the way to do it. It's available to you. You can look incredibly sharp. But you have to be taught how, because you won't know. The people at the clothing store don't know. Your girlfriend doesn't know. Okay? This is scientific. There's research on this. John Malloy, the engineer himself, the wardrobe and research engineer for Image. Okay, new dress for success for men, new dress for success for women. All of the research he does on the type of tie, the type of raincoat, on and on and on, to prove that how you dress is how you control other people. And once again, we can spend a lot of time on this, but we have to move on. Point number 10 is, and the last one I want to touch on here, is drive. You have to have the drive to want to do it, the motivation, the drive to wake up and say, I want to go out and conquer today. Okay, if you've got to have someone crack the whip, or if you need to be motivated, you have no chance. Okay? Tory, how do I get more motivated? If you're asking me that, you should just quit. Just quit. You never should have gone to chiro school. Just quit. Default on your student loans. Go get a job at an auto parts store. Go do, if you can't have drive as it relates to this thing called chiropractic awesomeness, there's nothing I can do for you. I'm not here to motivate anybody. Either you're motivated or you're not. As a human adult, either you're motivated or you're not. I got to find some motivation. What more motivation do you need to have other than that everybody around you needs you, okay? And you've got lightning bolts in your hands, and your hands are worth $50 a minute. Is that not motivating enough? So you have to have drive, and I have a whole story about drive, but we'll save that for another time. So let me recap here. All right. If you're a chiropractor and you want to collect $100,000 a month, okay, you're going to have high-level coaching. You're going to get the office laid out perfectly. You will not compromise on the layout. Then you're going to get all the proper equipment in place, which is going to be for chiropractic and the 1 or 2, possibly 3 other pieces of equipment that will be required to offer the service at a level that will get you over the top. Then, of course, we're going to have the right team in there, the right number of team, with the right hours, paid the right way, bonus the right way, trained the right way, okay, with the right goal and stats system in place. Okay, number 5. All right, so that everybody knows exactly what we're out to do. See, if I call your office and I talk to any CA and I say, why are you there? Think about this. I pick up the phone. I call your office. A CA answers. And I say, hi, this is Tory the chiropractor, chiropractic success consultant. That's funny. Success, that's a hard word to say. Success consultant. Why are you there? You know what the answer should be? I'm here to help drive us to $100,000 a month. I'm here to help us break 400 visits a week. But they'll never say that because the doctor will have not taught that to them. So they're running around with no targets in their mind. You have to have everybody on the same page going toward the same goal. That's why you read the affirmation out loud at every team meeting. Our practice is growing. We're busy and getting busier. New and returning patients are calling and coming in every day. 400 patients per week is easy for us. Collecting $100,000 a month is easy for us as we serve with love, gratitude, certainty, and care. I got it memorized. The whole team says that out loud at every team meeting. Nobody has any doubt where we're going. Do you think an NFL team doesn't know they're all trying to win every game and go to the Super Bowl? But in a chiropractic office, none of the CAs even know why they're there. Tory, I just can't seem to grow. Of course you can't grow. None of your CAs even know why. They think they're there to push paper and answer the phone. Okay? Check in people. That's like a football player saying, well, I'm here, to show up at practices and hand the ball off. And sometimes I throw the ball to people and, just to hang around at the team meetings. That's why I'm here. No, you're there to win a Super Bowl. You see the difference? See the difference between 100,000 a month thinking and just regular chiropractor thinking? Nothing that I think and nothing that I do is in the normal world of chiropractic. We're in a whole different category in the chiropractic universe. There's a better way to do everything. There's a different way to say everything that's better. There's layouts that are better. There's forms that are better. There's the treatment time concepts that are better. There's the fee structure, the wellness plans, the initial plans that are better than everything that you know. Okay? Okay, the next thing, of course, is all the scripting and procedures. We have to have a treatment time that allows for the volume and the collection per visit. Then we have to have a promotion and marketing machine in place to bring people in the front side. Then, of course, you have to look like somebody people want to hang around and stay around, all right? And you have to have the drive and the motivation as the foundation to push yourself to get all of this done so you can become the most powerful chiropractor possible. Tory out.